Get to know all your favorite VRChat DJs all in one place. This is VRCDJLIVE.
Well, welcome everybody. Finally, we are a part of this big old program that we've been kind of hyping up for the past, I can't even begin to tell you how long, but finally get an opportunity to welcome you to the first negative episode of VRCDJLIVE. By the means of negative episode, I mean that we are still building this as a program. First radio show of its kind here in VRChat, where we will be discussing lots of various topics with all sorts of DJs and the DJs in our community. So I'm really excited to bring you on to this big, ambitious project of ours. For those people that don't know me, my name is Rob Roman. You may find me in VRChat as Rob Roman's voice. And welcome to this fantastic program that we got going on here. And especially now that we have our first guest. He's a German DJ that makes his own music, featuring kawaii bass stylings, house and mid-tempo. He DJs as part of the Delirium family, and will actually be featured as a DJ at this year's Dead Man's Party in TwitchCon San Diego. Please welcome the first of many DJs to be had, TatsuTracks.
Oh, I'm Tatsu.
Yeah.
We
got a lot of people in chat ready to talk to Tatsu today.
Hell yeah.
Very exciting to have you. Very exciting to get this project underway.
Very hyped to be here.
I also don't want to even ask the very first question, but you were a little nervous getting into the seat for the first time. You're obviously the first DJ in VRCDJLIVE. Tell me a little bit about this experience of what we got going on here.
So it's a very interesting. I've never had this kind of experience before, so this is very new to me. I guess very new to you as well for this first episode. But goddamn, I'm hyped for this one, and yeah, thanks for having me.
It's definitely going to be very interesting, especially again, not to open up a big old can of worms, but this past weekend we had a lot of drama within the DJ community. We had just a lot of stuff that you see up on Twitter, and most of the time we don't really want to be spending a lot of our time with the drama, but what we want to do is feature what we've got going on currently, and maybe even not even hear not enough from the DJs that we like to listen to anyway. So I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to come on and kind of share with everyone that is currently here in the chat with answering a bunch of questions, getting to know you a little bit more. So for those people that are joining us in chat, what I would like for you to do is compile a bunch of your questions. Again, you're more than welcome to ask questions in the chat. We are going to be answering questions later on in the show towards about 90 minutes after the show has been kind of going on. So feel free to ask the questions in the chat if you would like. Since Dank Poppin' Locks is here, he'll be the one compiling the questions for answers from Tatsu. As we continue on. But again, this is more for we all want to know about you, man. I mean, you've been DJing a lot in VRChat, and a lot of the time, you're in so many different groups and sets, and you're kind of performing once a week, right?
Yeah, kind of. Most of the time it's more than once a week, actually. But basically, let's call it once a week.
Once a week.
I think the most I had in 1 week was 6 or 7 sets, which was an insane week to have. I can't say that was a great experience, but it's definitely fun. Wouldn't do this much without it being fun, obviously.
Oh, I mean, besides the whole exposure part, just doing it for exposure, besides actually getting paid or something. But I'm sure we'll get more into that into the program. But I know one of the things that I was able to dig up about. No, I was going to say dig up about you, but some information.
Oh, no.
I mean, listen, You
No.
have some guests on the program, and I have to kind of, I'm not Nardwar or nothing where I'm just 50 years ago, what did you do here? No, but you did kind of say in your Dead Man's Party profile that you do make this what you call Kawaii bass
Yes,
stylings, house and mid
I like to
tempo.
make kawaii fish.
Kawaii Kawaii fish.
Kawaii bass.
That's probably the reason instead of koi fish, they should just be called kawaii fish. So my first question to you is what came first, making the music or performing the music?
Making the music.
Okay.
But if we go back further, it's technically performing music. Because back in the day when I was more child than teenager, I think it was before that, I played the trumpet
Wow.
for a long time. Yeah. So that basically started my music journey at some point, but I wouldn't call that the start to where I am right now, to be honest.
So like the trumpet had no other influence besides the fact that you can play it. You're not going to be the next Timmy Trumpet.
No. I did stop it at some point because I did have to focus on other things at that time. So I haven't played it in quite some time. Sadly, I don't even know if I could still, to be honest. But if we're talking like what came first, production or DJing, absolutely production. I started producing around 2018 with my first release in 2019. And I gotta say, it was pretty ass back then. But everyone has to start somewhere, right? So yeah, it's production came first. Music making came first before the performing.
So with that being said, what came first, VRChat or DJing? I would assume DJing came before VRChat.
DJing did come before DJing came before VRChat. If you don't count me going into VRChat for like a few minutes in 2017, but I don't count that. I didn't interact
Like
with
everybody's
anyone, really.
desktop adventures, like trying to figure out if this was for you
Oh
or
no,
not.
no, that was already in VR. I've got this headset for a while.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
so what was one of the biggest draws about VRChat in your opinion? Did VRChat bring you along because of the DJ scene, or what introduced you into VRChat even before DJing, unless it was DJing?
Ooh. So what made me
If you could
So
remember.
2020, yeah, I do. 2022 was basically the first time I went into VRChat to meet some friends of mine. That all has to do with one big factor that has a lot to do with me, or like that starts a lot on me, and that is Porter Robinson. Funny enough. So I was at a Porter Robinson concert in 2022 in, I think it was the Netherlands, in Utrecht. It was a great concert, and the people I met there were amazing people, and they introduced me to VRChat, really, to the beauty of drinking together with your friends in VRChat.
So these were VRChat people that you became friends with at the Porter Robinson show, or is it just
Yes. So some of them were not VRChat people, but two or three. Good friend of mine, Hinnick, for example. I don't know if you know him. He's also a VRChat DJ, actually. He basically introduced me to VRChat, and I still think that's really cool. And at that point, I was there just to vibe with friends, experience VRChat, have some fun with friends. And there, I didn't really think about DJing in VRChat, but a few weeks, maybe months later, I did get introduced to the VRChat clubbing scene. I don't really know how. I think it was my friend Bisha, who's a VJ.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what was the first kind of clubby kind of experience, or like the first DJ you saw, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Now that was definitely also with that friend group. I don't really remember which club it was. It was already a pretty big one. It might have been either Tube or actually Shelter, because it was packed as hell. And I just was there and was like, holy, this is insane. I think I joined there because Bisha my VJ friend was VJing for a person there. I think it was Tube, actually. It was a really fun night. And that's how I got introduced into VRChat DJing. I think that was where I was like, I want to try this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the million dollar question is, 2 years later, do you find yourself more successful than you were when you first walked in and said, "Hey, I enjoy this"?
I mean, pretty much. 2022, I did like 2 or 3 sets. I did start out. I think Rizumu was one of the first ones. And Fishbowl also. So they were all kind enough for an inexperienced DJ like me to just go up and do some weird crap. And it worked out pretty well, and I really enjoyed that shit. That was pretty cool. And now it has a very different vibe nowadays, because now a lot of people, or like more people, know me. They don't really need me to say, "Yo, can you show me something?" or something like that. No, they've mostly have seen me at a VR, like another gig, and were like, either came up to me or I came up to them. And yeah, it's now people know me more, which is pretty cool. Very nice.
It seems like it, right? I mean, we're doing the show, and I wouldn't say that like almost not everybody could be a part of the show, but you've had such quite an extensive career in VRChat alone within the past 2 years. But more thinking about while we're DJing in VR, and with the brand new Twitch DJ program, I feel like there's going to be a very interesting meetup between IRL DJing and VR DJing. Where do you think VR DJing is headed now that we're kind of going on the other side of 2024? You kind of got to see what it was like early on in 2022, maybe more of a boom in 2023, but in going forward, in let's just say in the next 2 years, where do you expect VR? And it could be VR in general, it doesn't have to be, because there are other applications out there outside of VRChat that deals with DJing as well. But do you think the metaverse is going to be growing enough for DJs?
Ooh, that's a great question. I gotta tell you, that's a very big one. In 2 years, that is, I think VRChat, like VRChat as a whole, is gonna grow, and with that, the DJ scene in VRChat as well. And I feel like it's gonna get more and more professional the further we go, to be honest. And I think with this metaverse and or just VRChat thing, I also think that the DJs in VRChat will grow more, that they will be able to transfer the knowledge they have from VRChat, and like the audience, or like fans audience, whatever you want to call it, that they transfer to IRL gigs too. So I think we might see more and more IRL gigs with VRChat DJs. I mean, there are quite a few right now already. Like just going on Twitter, you have things like Dead Man's Party, for example, or Four Seasons, that are two good. All right, I know about these because, you know, I'll be playing there, but there's also, I just saw like a few, like 10 minutes, maybe an hour ago, I was browsing on Twitter and saw that 10XX is playing another IRL gig with, I think it was Muzz as well, somewhere. And then there's ShelterCon, I think it was also in November.
I lied.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be getting more and more professional.
Kind of moving forward with the professionalism of with a lot of these new IRL events, that we've also kind of discussed a little bit about finding an opportunity outside of VRChat. Obviously, there's tons of opportunities in VRChat alone that that show a lot about the exposure part of it. I know we were kind of talking a little bit about that, and I kind of want your opinion on it because I know this is kind of just a really hot topic between DJs in VRChat as well as DJs moving forward into IRL events. But there always seems to be some sort of a small line between how much more exposure can you get and just get paid in exposure as opposed to actually getting paid for real events and being professional. And I kind of want your opinion on where do you think that line will be and how can people cross it professionally wise? Because I feel like in VRChat, you DJ in VRChat, not too many IRL clubs or promoters or something like that. They'll take a look at that experience and they don't understand it. So one of the key things that I kind of want to crush during this project of VRCDJLIVE is to get a better understanding of, well, if we're going to continue growing the future of VRChat, how can we progress into IRL DJing as you've said that you're going to be doing 4 seasons? Maybe even give us a little bit more of an insight of how that process of 4 seasons is coming to be too. You know, was there an application process? Was there a review? Is there some sort of a financial basis on that? Your thoughts?
Okay, so if let's start with the 4 seasons one. How did I, for example, get in there? It was an application process, as you already said. Basically, you send a you send your name, your stuff, what you do, your genres, maybe a little a reel of what you do, and that's how it worked right now. About the professionalism and the IRL clubs, I honestly think they will at some point have to understand what's going on in VR in general, because our society is more and more pushing for this metaverse kind of type of thing. And at some point, we might even see that the VRChat clubs overtake the IRL clubbing scene, because we already heard, or at least on my side of things, I've seen lots of news where you just hear, yeah, the newer generation does not go clubbing anymore. They don't like going out with people. And I think that is just not, it's not really true. Like they don't go to the IRL club anymore, but I see more and more people just shifting to VRChat. So we might get this crossover between IRL clubs and VRChat clubs at some point that we don't see right now, but 2 years from now, who knows? Maybe, I don't know, we've got an IRL VRChat club. That might be a thing at some point.
Do you think do you think that would be an issue for a lot of competing DJs? I don't want to say that there's ever drama in any sort of community, but I feel like even if we were to have an IRL VRChat club, you know, I just feel like there'd be way too many people trying to like get time slots to do that.
Oh yeah, like there are quite a few DJs, I think, all in all, but you know, it's like we already have IRL normal clubs. I guess if you, yeah, okay, Mike, stay. Thanks. I think we can kind of. There's gonna be some kind of system, I'd say. I mean, we already do it with VRChat clubs, right? Every weekend, we already have like slots and things like that. I don't think there's gonna be much of a problem. I mean, somehow they do it IRL already. They do it in VRChat already. Can't be that hard to combine it, right?
I would hate to like continue with this hot trigger kind of topic, but I know VRChat's been kind of talking a lot about it with the VRChat kind of V-Bucks system and putting like an actual ticketed price on a lot of these shows. And I know that I think a lot of people are saying, well, if it's already free, you know, then nobody's going to go to those high ticketed priced shows because you're using the software that's free. I mean, you got to pay a little bit of money to get a headset or whatever kind that you choose. But do you believe that they're going to continue on with this process of potentially having more shows where it could lead to a little bit more of a professional getting paid situation, kind of also maybe aiding in the IRL experience?
I honestly, with this kind of topic, I think it is possible to get paid gigs or like paid shows into VRChat at some point. I wouldn't say now because it is still very fresh, very high debate topic. But we can already see something like, for example, Ferality. It's a furry convention in VRChat that you have to pay for. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that already go there. So I think if that is possible, it might also be possible for actual shows to be paid. I mean, it would be great for everyone around. Besides, right? You know, every VRChat DJ does this because they love what they do. And when it comes to gigs like this, I only see it as a opportunity to help that or the DJs out. If the club only takes the money, no, fuck off. Sorry. But if the money goes to the people that perform and did everything, then I'm absolutely fine with paying a small fee to go see a really cool person. Sure, why not?
So do you actually see something like that happening soon, later? Could it happen soon?
I think it could happen soon. Like maybe as a test run or something. I also see it happening that more IRL artists coming to VRChat. I mean, we already have someone. So one personal favorite of mine, for example, is Explorers of the Internet. They're a great group of people who just do memes very well. And I loved seeing them at Nurtured 3, for example. That was great. I loved it. And I would pay for that, for example. And more people coming into VRChat that aren't or haven't started in VRChat, doing VRChat gigs. I would love to see that. And I think it could become a thing soon, like as a test, right?
So would you consider like getting paid in VRChat to DJ almost maybe good enough business practice for the future? Like, because again, we're talking about defeating regular exposure in VRChat to doing IRL gigs, doing conventions, working the circuit, maybe festivals, and gaining that experience. Because again, a lot of those people, a lot of those promoters, you say VRChat, and there's just so many different things that they're thinking about as far as the VR is concerned. I don't want to take away any specific group, of course, but I would just let the Twitch category kind of say its justice on what type of content we're actually pushing on the VRChat on the category. But what else would we have to do besides the getting paid in game aid into a more professional scenario for a lot of our DJs, in your opinion?
So what you're asking is, sorry, I didn't quite catch. Could you repeat?
Yeah, it's I'm kind of a little bit all over the place though. So again, we're talking about right now. A lot of the DJs in VRChat are just operating off of exposure, and whether or not they are getting paid from these groups are completely up to the groups. You know, sometimes we don't hear about that. Sometimes we're just in it just to have a good time and perform for our friends and whatever. But there are some people that are actively DJing in here that want to make this into a job. They want to make this into like their career choice where they could get paid and they could, and I will say, for example, there are a lot of content creators in VRChat that use VRChat as kind of like a catalyst to, or a vehicle to aid in whatever type of business that they're operating off of, whether they're being VTubers or whatever. But there's a very thin line based on professionalism in VRChat compared to what you see in the category. So my question is what else do you think DJs should be doing in game besides getting paid that they should be promoting themselves to, getting more professional gigs IRL?
Good question.
Yeah.
So I think in general you gotta build your profile on anything. Let's say TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. Just get yourself out there so people understand that you don't do this only because, you're a bedroom DJ doing a little bit of mixing. No, you want to do more than that. You want to go out there and go play at a festival, for example. That's one of my dreams as well. I'd love to do that at some point. I do have to work some more on my social stuff, like TikTok. I keep forgetting about that. That's a thing. It happens. I try to keep up with YouTube though. I really try to put at least one set up in a week, or like try to do something there. Try to grow it a bit. But mostly I do that also for viewing purposes, because a lot of people would like to hear my stuff, but then again, can't make it that day, so upload that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably you got to work on your social media, especially today everything is working on social media if it comes to influencers or well, DJs as well. It's basically your portfolio, and that's how you show it off.
So here's another $1 million question for you. What is your opinions? What is your opinions? It's not just one, it's your opinions.
Okay.
On the weekend warriors that purchase the cheapest consoles and come in here as a DJ that you probably have never heard of, that you don't know where they're from, but they're in here and they're like, I bought a $300 console and I have a whole bag of music. I'm an official DJ now. What is your opinion on this?
Oh boy. Now we're getting into the topics here.
Ooh, yeah, spicy stuff.
Oh, spicy. In general, I would say I don't mind that. I don't mind people going out buying themselves a DJ controller if they are actually interested in that. Like, if they want to DJ, if they want to bring joy to other people with their music that they like, then I love it. Then I love the people that do that. But if you just buy yourself a console, go up there and do shit, sorry, but that's not a real DJ. That is whatever you would call that, right? But I am all for new DJs. I love to see more people enjoy themselves with their music taste. That's all I do. I love playing the music I love. I mean, why else would I play? Why else would I play like 20,000 Porter Robinson songs, right? And you got to start somewhere. And I honestly think if they do it with a good intention, good for them. I want to support them. Great shit. If you do it because you want clout, because you want to feel cool, go fuck yourself.
I mean, pretty well said right there, right? So you don't feel any sort of like any threat that someone would be better than you at some point in time?
No,
not even with the new kids.
No, like I don't feel it as a threat. I obviously think, okay, you're better. You've been doing so much good shit. You're now better than me, and I don't mind that. If someone is better than me, I just try to get better, right? You gotta have that little how would you say it? The competitiveness, right? Gotta have that sometimes. And I absolutely don't mind that at all. If they are doing something great, good for them. I love it. I want to support that, and please go on and be better than me.
I mean, do you have the same kind of argument with like Twitter nonsense and like when you're reading stuff about like VRC DJ drama. What do you feed into that? Do you just like sit there with your cup of coffee and just kind of sip and that's it?
Basically,
Yeah.
I like to watch it. Just this is fine kind of vibe. Everything burning down. This is fine. I honestly don't like to interact with drama too much because in the end it's just drama, right? So I try to keep out of it. If it's something like if someone attacks a friend of mine, that might be a different question. But if it's just in general some drama, mostly I keep myself out of there.
What are
I
your
mean, VRChat pipe bomb thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I haven't had any time to read up on anything. I've just been kind of asking the questions. People have been giving me some sort of an answer, but I honestly, with everybody that's been talking about whatever's been happening, it's been far too long for me to actually care as much as I would
Right.
because it is a community issue, but I also
Yeah.
think it kind of got resolved a little bit. So, just kind of push that off to the side, of course. As far as like the new kids being thirsty, do you think that because obviously I feel like with the new kids that are coming in and they got new DJ names and new DJ whatevers, and I would assume that they're doing it because either I don't want to say peer pressure from a group or community or people or whatever, maybe they are interested in DJing or whatever. What do you think about kids that are getting really thirsty for the game to try to get like DJ slots? Do you find that aggravating? Do you find that empowering? Motivating?
So are we talking like new kids that just want the clout, or are we talking new kids that actually like to DJ? You
Well,
mean
we
the
don't know
one-
these. We don't know these new people. I guess one of the other projects of this program is to kind of figure out, what people's intentions are while they're DJing. You could have some weekend warriors that are just working their buns off because they just like to do the thing, but then they're also
Yeah.
competing against people that really want to, be the next Tiesto or something.
Well, obviously I want I want to have some slots too, but as already said, love seeing new people join in the DJ community. So I don't mind if I have to give up maybe 1 or 2 slots. I mean, I will get another slot. That's how it is.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about that. Look, I trust myself and my skills that I know I don't have to take every slot that is available, So if the new kid wants to try it out, go for it.
Dude, I like hearing about that. We don't talk about that too often because I feel like in any sort of group, anytime we're focusing in on something that we're just uncomfortable about because we got some new people that are interested. I mean, that's a bold move, compared to like if you're going to come into VR chat for the first time, we don't think too much about it. But when we do come into VR, we have to go through the same gambit everybody else does. We have to go to Publix. We got to try to make friends. And it's kind of nerve-wracking, but when we try to get in there, I mean, once you get that trusted like status, it's just kind of like, oh, I've been in here forever. But giving people those opportunities to perform is kind of key and important. Not to rub off of what I try to do is, I try to give everyone an opportunity to do whatever they can, as opposed to me performing whenever I do. When it happens. But, it's nice to see that there are people out there that will say, let's see what you do. Get up on the stage, perform, and kind of give us a taste of what you're all about.
Exactly. Yeah, I always like to encourage people to try it out. For example, over at Delirium, my the club I am a what's the name? Regular DJ, right? I love playing there because you can just go up there and play, right? You can just go for it, do what you want, and everyone enjoys it, right? Obviously, Delirium isn't really the most music-focused club. It's a drinking club, right? So, I still enjoy the people that come there and talk about themselves and are like, yeah, I like to DJ too, and I want to do it more. And then I'm just like, then do it. Come on, let's go. Like the stage is free. I love I love dragging people in it.
I was actually gonna kind of segue into that, get a good transition going. How did you even learn about Delirium? How did that even, was that just because of the couple of friends from the Porter Robinson show that you were talking about?
No, that is a completely different story, really.
All right.
So in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, I went around, or was it 22? Either or. I went around and I wanted to see, oh yeah, I wanted to find a cool DJ location where I could just throw on something because I didn't know where to go really. So I went through the worlds and found a world called the Party Zone. I don't know if you
Ooh.
know them.
I mean,
They are
that's an older club. I don't know if they're still doing stuff. I have heard of them. Yeah.
It's an older club. I don't know if they do anything anymore. I haven't had a lot of contact with people there besides Ropai, but Ropai hasn't worked there since 2023, mid 2023. That's well. Let's continue the story before I get to the Delirium part. I started. I went to their Discord and was like, "Can I DJ for you?" And they said, "Yeah." And I was like, hell yeah. That's how I found the Party Zone. And that's how I got in contact with someone. At some point, I was just DJing for the Party Zone, doing my thing. And then after my set, Ropai came up to me. If you don't know Ropai, he's a big red panda, very cool dude. I've even got a very cool emote of him on Twitch. Vescare, if you would like to, you can post it. That'd be dope. Ropai is a really cool dude. He's a really good friend of mine and has been ever since I joined Party Zone. And after that set, Ropai came up to me and was like, "Yeah, there's another club that would like you to play for them." And I'm like, "Okay. Let's hear what this is about." And that's how I got to know about Drunken Stupid, the predecessor of Delirium. They then went on to have they went into that new period of a new club that is Delirium. That's how I found out about Delirium, and that is why I'm now a big part of Delirium's group.
So it's just kind of started with you looking for groups to hang out with, or like even just drinking groups rather than just like, because I mean, you were telling people that you DJ'd, but you weren't actually just looking to DJ at places, or were you just looking to drink and have a good time?
No. So I was looking for places to DJ at. The drinking just actually started in 2024. I honestly at that point I was more looking for, I want to play more music. I want to play more music. I want to play more music. So when someone came up to me saying, "Yeah, this club wants you to play for them because they really enjoyed your stuff," I was like, "Fuck yeah." That's how it went down, more than me finding that group. It was they came up to me, not me going to them. So at first I didn't really know what's going on, what they were about, but after all this time, I now know what they're about.
So talk a little bit more about Delirium.
Sure.
How has that group blossomed? I would assume it's gotten much larger than when you were first getting in for the first time.
Oh, I gotta say, it's already been, when I joined, a pretty neatly packed group that they knew each other for a long time. They've been a thing for a long time, and I just joined in. They have grown now a bit more, but not crazy more. It is a few more people that joined our group, but those people are now a great addition to the group, and we love hanging out with everyone. For example, I don't know how much it was before, but when after I joined Delirium again in 2024, when I started up my DJing again, um, I didn't know a lot about the people, but we just vibed so much that I just came back and came back and came back, and now I'm here with amazing friends. And one part, what I love about Delirium is the inclusiveness, because we have a huge part in that community that has something like a hearing disability or a speech disability, something like that. For example, my good friend Captain Smoke is deaf, and yet still he's great. Everything is great. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves his like community. With him, the community went even further out there and got this. Well, just the people. Everyone is great. That's what I want to say.
I was gonna say, I was just waiting for you to get really passionate there. I know you were working your way there. You were like, oh, he's something. I mean, you know.
I really don't know how to explain it. It's just a great group, and I really love them.
Do you find that you motivate a lot of people in the group to maybe even start DJing? Because I know there's a couple of people that we've met in Delirium that have also kind of started to venture off into DJing.
Yeah, there have been quite a few, actually. There are quite a few people that came up to me and were like, you inspired me to start DJing. And I'm like, all I do is DJ. What the hell?
Where have I heard that before? My gosh.
Yeah, right? It's insane, like, the reach you have to give this love of DJing to more people. It's insane. I did not expect it to be this often, but I have like 2, 3, 4 people that came up to me and were like, I bought a DJ controller because I really want to try DJing, because what I saw, what you did, I loved it so much. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you're
crazy.
helping those people, right? You're not just being like,
yeah,
you're like, well, we'll see you on the battlegrounds, kind of a thing.
See you on the battle. Yeah, absolutely. What the? Okay. No, absolutely. I always go out and say, if you need help, just ask me, because I'd love to help the people if I can, because I only know what I do, right? I use, for example, Native Instruments Tractor Control. Not like many other people that use the Pioneer DDJ 400s or FLX 4s or 6s. I don't really know about those, but everything I can do to help, I try to do. I also wanted to start a tutorial to help people more about the DJing, like how to get more into it, and like the VRChat perspective of a DJ. I just didn't get to it yet, sadly.
It's gonna be quite a process, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just for people that are watching, and first of all, hi everybody, welcome. It is live. It's not pre-recorded. This is VRC DJ Live. It's live.
No, I am very, very pre-recorded, guys. I am totally not real.
It's like one of those shows.
You guys scare and
that's what I'm saying. Like,
right now.
There's too many podcasts that are just like, we're gonna pre-record it and then we're gonna chop out all the juicy bits. Here, it's like, everything's live. You know, we actually had
everything is live.
We had a microphone thing early, like 10 minutes before we went live, and we were running around. But regardless of all of that, for everyone that's in the chat, if you'd love to ask your questions, we're going to be answering your dying questions. You know, this is the time. Yeah. This is the time that, like, if you're interested in DJing, you're interested in whatever Tatsu does and all the DJing stuff he's got going on, including, you know, future projects, which we will discuss. You know, make sure you either write down your questions, post it in the chat, and you know, we'll get to them when we do.
I already see the really juicy questions in here. I'm very excited for later.
Do you want to answer this first juicy question right now, or
no?
You want to?
We have the time later.
Okay, so
that's gonna be the first question, though.
Hopefully, if you remember it, then that'll be great for me, because you know, just kind of going off. Whatever.
I mean, we can just go through the chat later, right? I hope so.
it's live after all. You know, VRCDJLIVE.
Is.
So speaking of live, and I know you were talking about, you know, recruiting new DJs and people that you've motivated. What
Hmm.
do you recommend for a setup? I know you have one. What do you recommend for people that are just starting?
Oh boy, no, that is controversial. There's so much to go through here.
Yeah, what
I
is your
can
opinion based on like Tractor or what is it, Virtual DJ or Serato or Rekordbox?
Oh boy. So that's a hard question to say because there are so many different variables that you got to look into. But for me, I always recommend Tractor because it just works. It works really good, and I love my Tractor Control S3. How I got that, if you want to know, you can guess it. Porter Robinson.
He uses it, or he has
He
one.
uses he's been a Tractor user ever since he started DJing and has been having a S4 since he started.
Oh dang!
And that's how I got into DJing. Like the Porter Robinson was like the 2020, I think it was Secret Sky. He DJ'd with his Tractor Control S4. That's how I started, but that's not the question right now. So, what would I recommend? Just what you can pay for, honestly. Get whatever and just start it. I don't know about a lot of the other DJ programs besides Tractor and Rekordbox, to be honest. I only use Rekordbox because, gotta venture into the CDJ spectrum of things. But I'm an avid Tractor user, and I don't think I will switch to anything else. So I can only recommend the Tractor things.
Just the
That's
track.
how
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, that works. Yeah. I mean, again, as
It
long as it
does.
does the job, and
Exactly. That's why I was saying what you can pay for is what you should start with, right? If you have, I don't know, $100 in that you can spend, then so be it. It's gonna be the cheapest thing on the market, but you can still DJ with it, and you still can get the basics with it. So I don't think it's the gear that matters too much. Obviously, that won't you won't have what, four fucking DJ decks. You don't need it at the beginning, honestly. I already talked about that on my stream. I think a 2-channel DJ deck is totally fine to start out with. Um, but yeah, you don't need the most expensive gear to get the basics done.
do I want to pop the question on the drum and bass debate? Is that
Oh
something
no.
you want to start talking about?
Let's fucking go.
Do you really?
Let's go.
Okay. So for a lot of beginner people that are coming into VR chat, now that obviously this is just an opinion of things that I've seen in the past couple of years, but
Yeah.
there doesn't seem to be a stop to it. And again, with my time at Liquidity this past year, it is growing, but I'm still undecided. So for me to ask the questions, I'm hoping to get a well-rounded answer. Do you believe drum and bass is the way to go for your first time DJing in VR chat?
Oh my god. That was not the question I was expecting.
What were you expecting? What was the question? What question do you want me to say?
No. I will answer that question, but
Okay.
I thought you were going into something like, is it like the biggest genre right now in VR
Oh yeah,
chat
we
or
can talk
something
about
like
that too. Absolutely. But I want your opinion on drum and bass.
I like drum and bass. I don't mind drum and bass, and I like playing it sometimes. To get back to the first question, though, I think you should DJ what you like the music that you enjoy. If that's drum and bass, go for drum and bass. If that's hardcore, go for hardcore. If that is happy hardcore or hard style, house, whatever, just play what you want. That's what I want to say. Play what you want to hear. That is what I do. For example, most of the time, when I have the freedom of choosing what I want to play, what I can play, I'll play what I want. And that is how I started DJing as well. I got myself the music that I wanted to hear in a DJ set and played that. And if that is, I don't know, country, then DJ country. I don't know how you would do that because I've never done it.
I
Maybe.
guess the real question
Yeah.
to piggyback off of that is do you believe that there are enough groups in here that can accommodate that sort of thing? Because I think that's kind of where I'm leading up to, is the fact that we do have a lot of groups here that do focus more drum and bass, and you got some more hardcore, sure. But yeah, I don't know about you. I don't know any country DJs. I don't know too many
Yeah,
hip hop
me neither.
DJs. I know a couple hip hop DJs.
So about that, I absolutely think there is a place for them. There's a lot of open genre out there, and a lot of people do enjoy hearing something different that is not drum and bass or hardcore, and I love that as well. Hearing something new is awesome. I love hearing something new. And I think we got to find some more DJs that don't do what everyone else does. Be, just having something new is super cool. I mean, sure, it might not be the biggest banger at the beginning, but it can always grow out to be something much bigger than it is right now. And if that is country right now, I mean, look at he's not a DJ, but like look at Post Malone. He's now a country artist. No one expected him to do that. But if he enjoys that, good for him. And I think we can also get that here in the DJ scene, right? Spread the love to other genres that might not be played as often as drum and bass or house, right?
I mean, ultimately, right now, I believe that a lot of the larger groups are kind of focusing on that high energy drum and bass. And my own little experiment last night doing some drum and bass, we had a lot of people falling asleep because they can't keep up on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, whatever you do on the weekends is what you do on the weekends. But do you believe that this popular type of genre is going to continue rolling into, let's just say, 2025, maybe even 2026?
Could you repeat that last part? I was reading a question. I'm sorry.
No, that's the reason why it's live. It's fine.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like I feel like there could be still a stigma in VR chat where you do come in here and you join in a group based off of like a social group, but the social group is just kind of like, we listen to drum and bass here, and you don't want to leave because they think you're cool already. Do you think that is going to play a pivotal role? Let's just say like a year in, like into 2025. We'll just say 2025. Do you think a lot of the more popular groups that do play drum and bass, is that going to continue that trend? Because I wouldn't just say it is a popular trend. It kind of is a popular trend.
It really is.
But you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with a group that loves drum and bass. They do enjoy drum and bass. But do you think that it's going to continue to meatball into the new year? It's going to roll down the hill. Snowball. I don't say meatball. I like meatball other than snowball.
Hell yeah, we like meatballs.
You think it'll meatball its way into 2025 compared to what you were saying, how, you know, you could genuinely play anything in here. You really could. But to find a group that will accept that, something completely different.
So if we're talking about the club that likes drum and bass, I absolutely think they will continue liking drum and bass. That's not gonna change. That's definitely not gonna change, because drum and bass is probably only gonna grow still from here. Might have a fall off at some point, but there's still a lot of people who enjoy drum and bass, and what that club does is honestly their thing. That's their thing to decide. So if it's a drum and bass only club, then sure, let it be a drum and bass only club. I don't need to. So let's say I would play there, and I would love to play drum and bass for them. As a DJ, sure, there are some times where you gotta follow the rules in quotations, I would say, because it's not really a rule, but like, they want you to play drum and bass, then I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, then I'll play drum and bass. That is sometimes what you got to do. But why would you DJ there if you don't like drum and bass, right?
I mean, probably popularity, I guess.
I guess, but that's definitely not how I would do it.
I'm sure.
For example, let's say Vibe Tribe. I think they only did hardstyle or do hardstyle. For the longest time, I was like, not really my thing, so I don't really want to DJ there. But now that I actually got more and more into hardstyle, I don't mind that anymore. I would go for that, for example. Um, so I think my conclusion on that one is you should just if that club is drum and bass only and you don't enjoy drum and bass, don't play there.
It seems like a very obvious thing, right? That if you're
I
not.
mean, it seems obvious, but then what you already said, someone wants that attention from that specific group. I don't know. It doesn't seem that obvious anymore then.
Kind of rolling into the next topic about groups in general, we have seen quite an influx this year of so many different groups, and partially because of the fact that most of the groups that they do go and watch, and a lot of the DJs and stuff, those instances get really, really full. So I feel like a lot of other people will branch out and be like, well, I can make my own club and I'll have more DJs. Right. Seems like I'll have hookers and blackjack and, you know, the whole meme of it. Do you think that we're at a nice, comfortable amount of clubs, or do you think we might be in trouble as it continues to make its way into the new year? We get more clubs.
No, I don't think we are in any trouble at all, because I see there might be more and more clubs spawning somewhere, but I also think that is a good thing, because, you know, new clubs, new experiences, new stuff. I in general love new stuff, but I don't think it's going to get too overcrowded, but because I do see more and more clubs also kind of dying out. So the old ones go, and therefore two new clubs join. So I don't think it is a problem at the moment. Maybe if it continues in a few years, maybe it just continues to be like humanity, growing and growing, and we're overpopulated at some point. But right now, I don't see a problem, no.
For those of you that are in chat right now, welcome to VRCDJLIVE. It is live. It's a live program. We're doing it live. We're here with TatsuTracks, who's
hello, I'm TatsuTracks.
Do you consider yourself a German DJ or a DJ from Germany?
A DJ from Germany.
Okay, yeah. So he's from Germany. Of course, you know, me, BB from America, it's just like, well, I'm from America. But, you know, you could just say whatever you say. But so we're here with TatsuTracks. If you want to enjoy some more of TatsuTracks stuff, we have the Twitch link down in the bottom left corner at TatsuTracks. You also can follow him on the second account at TatsuTracks DJ for all of the DJ stuff, which, by the way, you know we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
One of the things one of the reasons for the TatsuTracks and TatsuTracks DJ is because of the new Twitch DJ program. And a lot of people in VRChat have voiced their opinions on it. A lot of people are in and out of it. Some people actually, they'll read the TOS, but not entirely sure understand the TOS. What are your actual thoughts? Give us your thoughts at the beginning and where your thoughts are on the program now.
So at the beginning, when I read that they are doing the DJ program, I was like, yeah, I didn't really feel like it. Like, I really did not enjoy what they were up to, aka Twitch, because honestly, I read through it and just saw the negative points. You cannot play whatever you want anymore. You gotta watch out what you play. Like, you gotta read through specific artists that you cannot play anymore. You get 50% less revenue that you that already is pretty slim that you got before when you got a subscriber, for example. That's going to be even less. There are a lot of drawbacks to the DJ program, and I gotta say, I still am there today with the drawbacks that I don't like it. I don't really like the DJ program, and I don't like that they forced it on us. If it would have been just a choice, do you want to join the DJ program, then maybe my opinion would be different. But now that I got a beautiful email from Twitch saying, yeah, you cannot do that anymore in the music category, I was very disappointed by Twitch. And that's how the TatsuTracks DJ channel came to be. I do not monetize it. I do not want to be affiliate on there because it just doesn't make sense to me. It might be cool, but if I already get even less than what I would normally get, does it even make sense to do that in general? Why not subscribe to my other channel? Make more sense. So, yeah, I am not very fond of the DJ program, and as I said, now that they forced it basically on me, I like it even less. I do see some positive points there. For example, that you can now interact with other, like, you have this little badge that says you're a DJ, and that looks pretty cool. Or you're officially a DJ. That's cool, but it just doesn't outweigh the negative points for me, sadly.
Now,
so I think
continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think for the moment they fumbled the bag a bit, to be honest. It can still grow into something way better. I think there is potential, but right now I don't like it.
Understandable. I know a lot of people in VRChat, as we've kind of discussed it before the program ended up going live. We did discuss a lot about it, especially because of the fact that in previous years, Twitch themselves haven't really been extremely vocal about the VRChat community, only because of its sandbox nature and the type of content that a lot of the content creators here create do push the limits of TOS. We actually ended up seeing it a little bit with the whole VTuber slash VRChat model debate based on cleavage and showing skin and all that sort of thing. So the fact that all of that was kind of culminating, it was kind of nerve-wracking, especially for the VRChat DJs to come in here and say, well, are we going to get in trouble if we DJ in an environment that will provide, like we would be on the VRChat category as opposed to the DJ category. Or in this particular case, like, let's just say you're in VRChat wearing a swimsuit at the beach. Are you still allowed to, be in the pools, beaches, and whatever category, with that type of a conflict? And I know we had been talking a little bit about it back and forth about what the DJs should be doing. But I think my next question would be is, for someone that lives in the States and how Twitch operates out of America and in the United States, how does their rules ultimately reflect on someone who's using an American-based company to follow these types of American rules? How does that really hinder? How I don't want to say how does it make you feel, because obviously it makes you feel kind of indifferent, but compared to again, I don't know of any other companies that have some sort of an influence in Germany that would get you a little flustered because it's just American policy.
Ooh. Good question once again. I have not a lot to say about that, to be honest, because I don't really know much about it. So I don't think there's a big difference between me using Twitch and you using Twitch. As me, as a German citizen, I do have to abide the rules of Twitch, but as someone who is in Europe, and most of the time social media, actually all of the time, is either from the US or China, because we don't really use anything else. As far as I know, I mean, Twitter is American, right? Facebook is, Instagram is, I mean, that is Facebook. I think even WhatsApp is also Facebook, which is really high. Like, there's a high usage here in Germany that a lot of people use WhatsApp. So we always have to abide the rules that were given from the US social medias. So it's not really that different to how it always has been. But I don't even think there are specific different rules on
Because I was
Twitch
gonna say,
to
like, is there
European.
any sort of a restriction in Germany, for example? Because, like,
Mm,
I think as Americans, as cliche as this sounds, as stereotypical as this sounds, if we think across the pond, we're just thinking UK, Europe, and we
mm,
kind of put everybody else in a bubble. But as far as like any sort of policy concerning social media or even like the copyright law, we don't know anything
mm.
besides whatever we have. And it's kind of unfortunate for a lot of our international friends that have to kind of go through it at the same time as we do, but kind of have to struggle because it's not average. It's not what they're
Mm.
used to.
Right. So here in Germany, we also have basically something that is like DMCA. It's called GEMA. It's the German affiliation for musicians. So it's basically the same thing as the DMCA in the US. So I honestly haven't had a lot to do with GEMA myself because mostly it operates at IRL gigs and more stuff like that. And on Twitch, for example, it is always DMCA that rules because after all, it is an American company and not a German company. I gotta figure out how DMCA works there rather than using or having problems with GEMA, to be honest. I haven't run into a lot of problems with them either, so yeah.
So you're finding a lot of the content creators that are living in other countries that they're just kind of following along with the many terms of service rules that like Twitch or Twitter kind of handle, and I wouldn't say that they're okay with it, but like they're kind of being like, well, if I'm going to be a part of it, this is something I have to be a part of, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, basically, I'd say they do they do that. I mean, I cannot talk for everyone, obviously, but as far as I know as well, if there is like a really shitty rule that is for everyone in the EU, for example, I mean, you've probably heard about some changes that came through because of EU regulations, right?
I'm not
For
entirely sure.
example,
You could tell us about it though.
for example, USB-C on an iPhone, right? That only came to be because Europe was, or the EU was like, yeah, we don't like that you have your own port. Have USB-C. And that is why Apple changed to USB-C, for example. Um, and that happens for if we go with the example of Twitter, if Elon Musk goes at, or sorry, X, it's now.
We just call it Twitter
Oh,
X.
Twitter X.
Twitter X Twitter.
If Elon Musk would do some really shitty things, the EU would not like that and probably strike down Twitter. Um, and I mean, I wouldn't say I completely trust it in general, but like I kind of do trust the EU with stuff like this, to be honest. I know that might be a crazy thing to say as someone like in the US, people are like, "Oh my God, I don't trust the government."
Well, I mean, right now is a really tough time for politics, obviously, because
Yeah.
every day is a thing. But I believe it's like most Americans don't realize the type of influence in modern day living that you would get in Europe or the Netherlands or even in Germany, for that matter, because they're still back to world. They're still thinking World War II, unfortunately. But like and those types of living patterns are awesome. Living out there is awesome. They've got great architecture. Every government has something going on, so like I obviously can't really talk too much about that, but I feel like the whole thrill of living over there compared to what we got going on over here, we got a thing or two to learn, as far as that's concerned. But as far as the DMCA is concerned, and with the Twitch program, we're battling up against laws that were created in 1997, back when social media wasn't a thing and the internet wasn't an influence. So finding a common ground currently that's a little rocky is kind of tough. But when you first start something, it does get a little bumpy until you smooth out those edges. And
Yeah.
kind of leading forward into this type of conversation, I know we were kind of talking a little bit about IRL DJs and the VR
Mm,
chat scene. And
yeah.
I know one of the things that I've been really hyped about was the fact that not only with the DJ program kind of testing those old archaic rules of 1997, but being a vehicle that will introduce IRL DJs into the virtual space. And I kind of want your opinion on where do you think VRChat DJs are headed if we are going down that route to better understanding IRL DJs that perform on Twitch?
Mm, so what you're saying is like the VR chat, how I
What I'm
don't
saying
quite
is
get
like,
the rules.
yeah, what I'm saying is like, we can't stay here forever. I would love that. I
Yeah,
think that'd be great. And of course, you know, if you're in your safe spot and you're sitting here and you're doing a thing and you're having fun, that's great. But if you're trying to
right, right.
grow as a DJ and with the DJ program kind of, you know, and this isn't just VR chat either. Like Final Fantasy 14 online is dipping their toes in this too. And
Mm,
it's really showcasing it for them because they're doing a lot more than we are and they're getting a lot more attention than we are. So
mm.
obviously I'm not saying that I want to be the one that's like, hey everybody, let's head over and hang out with the IRL DJs. But the IRL DJs, when they think of VR and virtual reality, they're thinking Zuckerberg's metaverse.
I don't know if that's really true because I did talk to an IRL DJ. Funny enough, when I came back from Atlanta in May, when I was there for purposes. I
Things.
went to FWA and met some friends.
Furry things.
And yeah, furry things. So I came back from there. And funny enough, someone like to the right of my seat, like across the aisle, right? There was another DJ sitting right there. And they were like, he was talking to their neighbor, and I was like, no fucking way that now there's a DJ sitting next to me. So I interacted with him, and he's an IRL DJ. He does it as a job. And I talked a bit with him, and it was very interesting to get some insight on him. And then I also talked about me DJing in VRChat, and he was very, very optimistic about it. And he was also very interested in it, which, to my surprise, he knew about he knew quite a bit about the virtual scene. Not like he knew everything, but he has heard of it, which is very interesting to me. I did not expect that. That might all, of course, could have been an odd one out. Don't know that, but maybe there is some more to it than just that actually no one knows about it. I don't know if Tiesto knows about VRChat and the whole scene, but for example, if we take Porter Robinson back into the account here, he's been on here quite often, and I think we have seen the influence of him also in VRChat. So to get back to it, a bit more to not me yapping about Porter Robinson.
I guess another $1 million question is, do you think Porter Robinson will ever come back?
Oh boy. Maybe I should answer the other question before I go into another one. But yeah. So I think it's not only us that is interested in the IRL DJs. I think some of the IRL DJs are actually also interested in us, which is very interesting. To get to the Porter Robinson question, I don't know. I honestly don't, because like 2020 was a thing, 2021 was a thing, and the virtual events were huge at that time, right? Because of COVID-19, stuff happened. I think he might enjoy one or two, like enjoy VRChat as a thing, but I don't really imagine he's coming back for virtual events much more. I don't know. I can't say anything for him. He might not. We'll find out in the future. I mean, he right now he has way too much to
A
do,
world
right?
tour, yeah.
A world tour going on, like starting today. No, September. That's like in 2-3
It's a couple
days.
days, yeah.
In a couple days, which is insane. which it's a really big tour. So I did hear though that he does have a PC with him to play League. So
You never know, really.
you never know.
So kind of getting a little bit back on track about like introducing our world to the IRL world and vice versa.
Right.
Do you think it's going to be a match made in heaven? Do you think, because there's so many different opinions on it, and there's so many different avenues of how you're looking at it. Of course, having Porter Robinson back in here would be fantastic, but now we're also fighting up against, you know, really big artists coming in here that normally get paid to DJ, and they're coming in here and they're not getting paid to DJ unless they are, which again, that's some big bucks. But you know, between people trying to make money, people that automatically make money, and then the people that are trying really hard for exposure, I feel like that we're still going to be in that type of like bubble where there's just way too much going on at any given time.
Yeah. Oh God, that's a big one again, isn't it?
It's a little, again, it's not meant to be anything of concern, but like as again with the DJ program becoming a much larger thing, literally within a month. And the fact that IRL DJs are interested in VR, and some VR DJs are interested in, like Final Fantasy work, which again I'm still learning about, but it's a thing. You know, it's the people are doing it.
Definitely is a thing.
Yeah. So, I guess ultimately it's just trying to get a good understanding of, is it going to meld the way that we really want it to?
Oh boy. I don't know if it's going to be perfect. It's probably not. It's probably not going to be a perfect situation for everyone. It never is, right? There's always something that is wrong with for someone or something like that. So I don't think it's going to be a perfect match in heaven, but I do think there is a possibility. Yeah.
Okay. What about the actual DJ category on Twitch? I mean, obviously right now it's still a hot topic button, a hot topic issue, especially with the DJ program kind of launching. I did hear though that you don't have to be a part of the DJ program to be on the DJ category. So do you think that this is just kind of a flavor? The book of the month for Twitch, of trying to understand like, oh, I read this book and this is what I think is going to work out? Or do you think DJs actually have a chance on Twitch the next couple of years?
Did they change it now? Because as far as I know, you got to be in the DJ program to
the category.
The
category
right?
states is that when you do stream on the category, it automatically mutes your VOD and your clip for whatever you are performing in, but it does not guarantee you DMCA immunity. So when you do DJ on it, you could still be in that category, but at the same time, it won't free up the fact that you're playing music that somebody else performed.
Right.
Lots of little rules, but I don't know. I feel like you still have to bite the bullet, you know? Like as DJs, we pay for private use of these tunes, but we don't make the tunes, you know?
Well, it depends on the person, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you make the tune, you make the tune, you're going to be using your tune. Sure.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to, right? That's also another rule from the DJ program
unless
I don't like.
Yeah, unless somebody like pulls you under your own rug and like tells you that you are playing your own music and then you have to fight yourself.
Yeah, right. But technically, it's not allowed to play pre-released music. That is a rule that is big stated on the page of the DJ program.
That's true. That's very true.
That they don't like pre-released music. I mean, I think they mostly mean like IDs from DJs that have been played at a festival, but that still affects me as a producer, right? I want to play my pre-release shit.
Right.
I want to do that. Hell yeah. I want to do some cool stuff. I mean, technically, I don't know if that's true, but technically speaking, are all your music works, like the edits, are those released?
I'm not on
Sorry,
a label. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, if they are out, then they are technically released, right?
The way the DMCA works, for those people that don't know, it works as a boy who cries wolf scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if the record label knows that you are infringing on their copyright, they can claim, they could sue you. But
Right.
if for some reason that boy who cried wolf and wolf's not there, and they charge you as a claim, then those people, the record label, if it's true, if it's not true, then the record label will be the one that gets the fee, because they're the ones that said you did it, and then you're like, I own it. Be like, oh damn. So then they get. That's how the DMCA works here. They're still trying to figure out how to change that, but in the case of playing pre-release, that's how it's going to act. Is if let's just say you make something and you own it because you own it, and they call your bluff, you could pull up the files. You could say, I own this. I made this. And then you could countersue. You could legit do that. That is your right to do that. And then they would have to be the one to pay the fee, because they're the ones saying that you're the one that you're not infringing.
Right.
But I think a lot of people don't realize that. But at the same time, it's a very expensive procedure. So obviously, yes, if you infringe in DMCA, and this is off of Twitch too. Like if you do it and you get the bill, you're raking up about $10,000 of fees. But the record label also doesn't want to eat a $10,000 bill based on something that they can't prove. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, true.
Now the thing about Twitch is like, excuse me, my prepubescent voice. The thing about Twitch is it's granting you a little bit of a pass, because let's just say you do get a DMCA strike, you are technically an employer of Twitch. So Twitch, instead of paying the fee, will legit tell the record label, hey, we're sorry, we're going to take disciplinary action on our employee, and then we will not have to pay the fee because we took action. The disciplinary reaction is, a ban or a warning, slap on the wrist, so that way no one has to pay $10,000, but there was action taken.
Right.
So that's kind of how that works. This is years of working in radio. Obviously, we have to go under DMCA rule as well. So for someone like me, I can understand. Okay, there is a little bit of a thing, but those fees are hefty, and unless you have 10 grand that's just sitting there, that's a minimum 10 grand.
Oh boy.
Yeah, unless you have 10 grand to pay off those fees, I'd be more than happy to give half of whatever I earn to the licensing kind of a situation. But I can totally understand it. It's just something that we all haven't been wanting to do for a very long time, but we've also been trying to, it's like artwork, right? Like you want to commission someone, you want free artwork, but you want to commission someone to pay the artist who draws the thing. But it sucks because you have to pay for it. So it's like, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Anyway. Yes, we love DMCA.
Yeah, if you do, I don't. I hate DMCA. I think it sucks. So welcome again, everybody. This is VRChat DJ Live. We're doing it live today with Tatsu, our guest, and we still have about a half an hour left. So if you have any questions you want to ask Tatsu about DJing, about any of his opinions on anything, really. I mean, even though this show is basically about DJing and whatever.
I'll answer anything. Honestly,
dude, if you want to learn about what kind of favorite food he likes to eat, or what kind of manga he's been reading, or anime he's been watching, or nothing too crazy. Obviously, you don't want to be like, there are some people at conventions that are like, how's your sex life? No, that's dumb.
Well, pretty damn good.
I mean, if you're honest, then you're honest. But yeah, feel free to drop your questions. I know we had a couple of questions earlier that we'll probably get to if you remember those questions, especially those answers.
Yeah, I'm already scrolling here. I already know. I saw the most important one. That was very, very important. Coming from the scare, is mayonnaise an instrument? Now we could start a whole debate right here, right now.
Question is, how do you play mayonnaise as an instrument? There's different ways of doing it.
There is definitely a different way, but I I enjoy eating mayonnaise more than using it as an instrument. Yeah.
But you could still use it as an instrument, though.
I mean, technically, yeah. Yeah, probably.
But how would you play the mayonnaise?
Ooh, how would you play the mayonnaise?
No, how do you play the mayonnaise? Not me. You're asking me. How do
Me?
you TatsuTracks play the mayonnaise?
Just sample it.
By looking at it?
No,
I mean, if you're gonna play the
not.
trumpet, you gotta use the valves to play the trumpet. You gotta push air through it.
Well, technically, no. You gotta do it with your air. It's the valves are just
So you're saying that
tone.
mayonnaise makes music by just being mayonnaise?
yes. Absolutely.
I mean,
it is just music. You look at it, music. Yeah.
yeah. Are there any alternatives from Neo Absolution? Are there any alternatives to VRCDN that you have found reliable to DJ in VRChat?
So as far as I know, the only alternatives to VRCDN would be Twitch, and I don't know if YouTube streaming is a thing with these players. So I honestly do like VRCDN the most. I always use VRCDN and then restream to Twitch, for example, or YouTube or whatever, right? So I don't know, to be honest. I mean, reliable. If you want it to be reliable, go on Twitch. But now with the new DJ program, I don't know if you want to do that anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people even considering like even going to Mixcloud to do their streaming, which is a good alternative. But you're not showing anything; you're just doing it live, and you're just kind of DJing on that platform and just playing the music part of it.
Right. Exactly.
Have you ever considered doing something like that?
Just Mixcloud
I know.
without.
Well, I know you have a YouTube. I mean, what do you do on the YouTube?
Oh, on YouTube, I upload. At the moment, it's more uploading my sets. Like the ones that I think fit the most for my YouTube. I put them up there, so people can view them. If the request is very high, I'll also put it up there. But the YouTube on my side is mostly for either that or my music that I make, that I produce. For example, remixes, own songs, own remixes of my own songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use my YouTube for. Not a lot of people actually do upload their own sets on YouTube, which is to me very interesting because in my opinion, the most important thing about DJing is, well, obviously the music, but also the show in general. How it looks, how it feels, how the vibe is. And I am okay with just listening to it, but I much rather want to see what happened that night. What was going on, right? That's why I like to upload it with a video instead of just the audio. Yeah. That's what I do on YouTube.
I mean, a lot of people were just telling me, being like, well, there is a way for you to produce this show by, after the podcast is done, and people are calling it a podcast, I'm calling this a radio show because it's live. But like, they're like, oh yeah, just put it up on SoundCloud or something like that, and we would be able to listen to it everywhere. We could, I mean, if that's something that people are actively looking to do. But I don't know too many other live show experiences in VRChat where we're sitting here and we're actually producing a show. So I like the live part of it, but the problem is that there is a reservation for you to be like, you got to be here on time. Otherwise, we're not going to be sitting here for 5 hours talking about DJ. I mean, we could. I mean, ultimately, we could be sitting here talking about DJ stuff for 5 hours. I choose not to because, I like my voice and I like my throat and I like to not sound like.
I mean,
a horse.
It wouldn't be Rob Roman's voice without his voice. Right?
Honestly, I tried Rob Roman's mute, and then even people were just like, "Why are you on desktop mode?" And I'm just like, "Can I just get a break? Do I actually have to be in VR every time?" They're like, "Yes," and I'm like,
"Yes."
No. What do you mean I gotta be in desktop all the time?
That's a good part on my side. Mostly I'm in desktop mode, so no one really expects me to be in VR. Hell yeah!
Listen,
problem solved.
When the pajamas go on, they don't come off until the next day. Unfortunately, my opinion. But but we are coming up to the end of the program. We got about half an hour left. So one of the things, and keep those questions rolling. If you've got some dire questions you want to ask Tatsu before you forget, or unless you come into VRChat and you want to ask him personally, I mean that's more up to you and what you want to do. But We have the time now. Now's the fantastic time. We
Right,
got him
right.
right now before he goes and plays a video game or we never see him
I'm
again.
Here.
Obviously, it's live, We want to know, what is the future for TatsuTracks? What do we got coming up?
No future. I stopped DJing today.
Good night, everybody. It was glad to see
Good
you.
night,
I'm glad you're
everyone.
here. Yeah, that's how that works.
No. The future is probably me continuing with what's going on right now. More music, more stuff. I really want to step up my game again. Maybe some new visuals, something like that. Something new in general. I love what I do, but I think there's always another way to get better at it, right? So I really want to better my stuff some more, definitely. But for now, the next goal is gonna be Dead Man's Party, aka IRL DJing, and that is
Woof.
very, very cool. And I'm really excited for next month.
Got a couple more questions here. Do you enjoy DJing while there are deaf people in the party club?
Oh yeah, Smoke. I saw that question before, and absolutely I do. I mean, it might not be the best experience for the deaf person. If you can hear them. So as far as I know, if you have a what's it called, cochlear implant, something called like that, you can hear, which is really cool. And I talked about that with Smoke as well. But for people that don't hear but are still there, that's awesome. I mean, if you still enjoy the vibes with everyone, I'm happy, right? I want it to be a nice vibe, nice inclusive space for everyone to be there to have a fun time. And if you can have that without hearing me, absolutely. Please come and join.
Have you ever considered learning a little bit of sign language?
I actually was thinking about it recently, but I really haven't looked into it.
You could do yes, like yes.
But I'm just
no. I don't know. It's hard for me to do it.
Like I really have, because there have been quite a few people in Delirium, as I already said, that might have that kind of disability, and I want to interact with them some more, because they all seem like really cool people, but then it's a bit hard for me to talk to them if I don't understand them, right?
Right.
But it's just a matter of you got to get to it and learn it, actually.
Right. And then actually use it while you're doing that, talking to people.
Exactly.
So you talked about genres to perform and their popularity, but what are your top 3 genres that you like listening to? I would assume it's listening to rather than performing.
But yeah. So first of all, my favorite genre is Porter Robinson.
That's
No,
a genre?
It now is, bitch. It now is. I mean, how the hell would you put in the? How would you put? Go to someone.
His music's changed since like the first couple of albums.
You can't say that it is a different genre. Like, it is Porter Robinson, and that's his genre, bitch. Shut up. Fun fact about genres in Porter Robinson. Did you know that Complextra was made by Porter Robinson? There you go. It is his. He made it with Spitfire.
Wow.
But no. On a serious note, I enjoy a lot of music. I love listening to mid-tempo. I love listening to house. But I honestly, honest to whatever. What I DJ is basically what I listen to. Because all I do when I DJ is try to bring more people the joy that I get through the music I listen to. That's how it started, and that's how it still is.
That's why
I really want to.
He wants more Porter Robinson. He wants everyone to like Porter Robinson.
I want more Porter Robinson fans. Let's go.
I'm working my way. I haven't heard the whole album yet, but I've heard a couple of tunes, and I approve.
It's pretty good. Listen to Smile. Not sponsored or anything.
Isn't that the first one?
Smile is the newest one that just came out.
Yeah, but isn't the first one on the album though?
The first.
The first
one.
song, the first song on the album.
No,
Isn't it
it's
called Smile?
there is no song. There's no self-titled song.
Oh, it's just the whole thing.
Yeah, Smile is the whole album.
Okay.
Listen to the new album from Porter Robinson. Yes.
Okay.
I'm making more Porter Robinson advertisement here than advertising for myself, and I always do that, kind of.
I mean, whatever works. Yeah.
I mean, look, I always forget to play my own songs, but there's at least 1 or 2 Porter Robinson songs in every set. I really, really like Porter Robinson.
Make sure. Okay, so the new rule is if you're gonna watch TatsuTracks perform, anytime he plays Porter Robinson, then you have to drink. Right?
Oh boy. Yeah.
No pressure.
I'm gonna call the ambulance before stuff happens because I'm gonna be dead in 2 minutes.
Oh.
Yes. Dropping dead right now.
Yes.
So I want to finish the 3 genres.
Okay.
House, mid-tempo, and fuck, I don't know.
Country? You were talking about country. No?
I don't really listen to country. I know people who listen to country, but I'm not the biggest fan. I love to hear it. I mean, if so, look, there are a lot of people who say they listen to everything, but I do. Fuck me. Play metal, I'll listen to it. Play Schlager, you don't probably know even about that. I'll listen to it. It's German stuff that no one really wants to listen to. Play country. Sure. 1 or 2 songs, I don't mind. There are some fun songs. So, yeah. Third, dude, I don't know. Some Japanese songs, J-core, J-pop, whatever.
Some Japanese songs, yeah.
Anime, yeah. Let's go with anime.
Perfect.
That's a genre, actually.
It's a good question. Good question.
We can make this a new rule in Delirium Viscare. Oh boy.
Yeah, as long as it's written somewhere and then we know about it, yeah.
Right.
So getting back to what we were talking about earlier about all the future things you got going on. Talk to me about Dead Man's Party. It's kind of a big thing, right?
Right. It's the biggest thing going on in San Diego after TwitchCon.
Right?
Right? No, Dead Man's Party is a very cool party. If you haven't heard about it, it's in San Diego on the 21st, was it?
21st,
September.
yep.
Yeah, and I'll be playing there. It is a very cool lineup as well, and it's not far from TwitchCon. So if you go to TwitchCon, feel free to stop by. I mean, the tickets aren't really expensive either, in my opinion. I think, what was it, 25?
Yeah, $25. Yep.
$25. A lot cheaper than Block Party at TwitchCon. God, they go for like 130. It's insane how expensive they are. So if you got the time, come join us at DMP. You can get your tickets at dmpparty.com.
You can. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
That is a thing.
Tatsu can also sign whatever article of clothing you have, I think.
I can also sign more than just clothing.
Hey, yo.
Ayo.
You know, get it while you
now
can.
You're considering, right?
I mean, I haven't had to sign too much, but more importantly, like, again, you were saying this is kind of your IRL debut. So tell us about your process on this.
Oh, so I wouldn't actually call it my IRL debut because I did have my first live show in 2022. I think I also talked about that because recently we, on the 10th of October, you played there as well at Ropai X Tatsu. That world was based on an IRL place. That was technically my IRL debut. But yeah, there's quite a bit of work going into this because I'll be playing on a DJ controller that I don't know as much as my normal one. So right now, what I did, for example, yesterday, I went through Rekordbox just making loads of playlists just so I know where what is, because normally I don't. So my way of DJing is literally the messiest way to DJ ever. What I do is throw every songs in one big playlist and just go through it. I know where it is, and then I just search for it if it works out, right? So it's a really, really stupid way to DJ, but it works out, and I that's how I've been doing it all the time. And now I gotta find out how to do it, how to not do it, how to do it more clean, I guess. So there's quite a bit going on. I also have to work on some visuals for the IRL event at DMP. So that's also going to be something. There's a bit of work going into this, but I'm very, very hyped for this. I'm very hyped for this.
I'm really
Yeah.
hoping that again, this will be a nice like snowball effect into more IRL shows, and maybe even getting more IRL shows in 2025. I mean, you're going to be going back and doing 4 seasons.
I'll definitely go back to 4 seasons, probably if they still want me. Please have me, please. Thank you. Yeah. I would also come back for DMP if they would like to have me again. Oh God. Let me just fix my mic real quick.
Because hey, he's destroying. It's our first show, and he's destroying the set.
Yeah, I might just fuck it up. Who knows? No. Yeah, I would love to play way more IRL as well. I would absolutely love to do more IRL sets in 2025. And it is one of my goals to get more IRL gigs in general. Because I think it's a really cool thing. It's really fucking cool.
Another question coming in on the chat. Do you prefer to pre-plan your sets or feel it out live? And that's a very, very interesting question to kind of discuss.
It really is. It's a really good question because I do not pre-plan. The most pre-planning I do is 10 minutes before the set. I go through my Tractor and look through the songs and I just look through what kind of beginning song, aka the song that's basically on hold when I have my screen of this is there's a lot of light, epilepsy warning. I first go through that, looking for the vibe, what I want to listen to for the standby at the beginning. And then I go look through my tracks and feel out the vibe. That's why I like to join the DJs sets before I play. Listening to the other DJs, what's going on, what the vibe is like. If I'm the first person, I obviously cannot do that, but normally I do. And then 10 minutes before the set, I try to find that one track that I want to start with. And from that on, I just keep on what's it called? Fucking
keep on rolling, baby.
Yeah, keep on rolling. Just no planning at all. I plan while DJ.
So, I mean, this is coming from a seasoned professional. This is someone that's been doing some DJing for a couple of years now. But I think the more important question is, when you're first starting to DJ, do you need to really hyper focus in on making the perfect playlist every time?
By playlist, you mean like
or set list? Whatever you're performing.
Set list. Okay, let's say set list. No, as I said, I've always done this. I've always just went for one song and then went into the other and further and further and further. That's how I DJ. That's how it always has been. That's how I start it. It's probably not the best way to DJ, but it works for me, and I'm very happy with it. I really like to just go for it, Just vibe with everyone and see what the vibe is like, right?
Tatsu walks in with his mayonnaise. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Next time you're gonna see me playing the mayonnaise just for you guys.
That's why so you hire him for Dead Man's Party. He comes in with his jar of mayonnaise.
Oh yes.
So we are coming up a couple more minutes left of the program, and I know time flies when you're sitting there.
I see one more question, very important.
Yes.
Can you sign my rainbow? Yes.
Oh.
Only. But wait, here it comes. Only for me to write on it sex with Kex. That's it. That's what I wanted to say.
And seeing that this is recorded, it's live and recorded, that's going to be forever on the internets now. So we don't forget it.
Oh, well. Huh? Sexy Kex.
Yeah, you'll have to ask after the program, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What kind of venues do you prefer while DJing? Are there any worlds you would like to see made? Are you referring to like in VRChat kind of a thing? Because that's a good place to start. What kind of experiences does TatsuTracks like to DJ in VR? That'd be a good question.
So what kind of experiences? As in, should it be something that looks like a real venue, or is something that's outer space?
Yeah, kind of like,
Something like
you know,
that.
what tell us a couple of the venues that you performed in that you really enjoyed performing in.
So for me, I really love the very detailed ones where you can actually see this person knows about IRL venues as well. Like when the speakers actually are placed where they should be placed, and there's only one line array hanging from the ceiling, like one on the left, one on the right, and not two, because that doesn't make sense IRL. Then I really appreciate that because I really love the attention to detail. So I probably prefer the ones that look kind of real. One that I really, really loved. I have not played there, but I saw it is from Grizdog. It's like a Club O, smaller club, and it was so detailed in every bit. There were even the flight cases around the world, like scattered around, and it made sense. And that was so cool to me. Also, cables, babies. Cables! No VR club has cables! That over there has cables, and I was very happy.
Yeah, I was like looking at those. I was really glad that we have cables over there. But to further on with that, do you prefer a smaller size club or something that has a little bit more room for smaller?
Absolutely.
So what would be the max capacity for you then?
No, so size-wise smaller, not capacity of the instance.
So you would still have 80 people in a smaller venue?
I mean, what else? A shelter.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right?
But I mean, they're standing shoulder to shoulder though, right?
Yeah, but that is kind of the club experience, right? That's kind of how it should be in IRL. That's what I would say it would look like. As a DJ, I like to see the people. And if they're too scattered, kind of meh. So I do like the smaller venues. I don't mind the big ones. They're also very cool, but if there's only 80 people, I don't need a festival-sized venue, right? I'd rather DJ at a smaller size club. For example, Club Reality. Very, very good sizing. I really like the in-between of not too big, not too small, very well sized.
Now, as far as like the underground vibe, I know there's a lot of clubs in here that offer that type of experience. Do you think that's a little too much? Do you think that's just theatrics? Do you think that that's included with the experience, or are we still kind of looking for like an IRL kind of club event, like venue?
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a cool thing. People can use their creativity to take the vibe that underground had or has IRL and take it to VRChat and make it more legal. I think that's a good thing. I don't mind it. I like it. But I also don't mind it if it's, I don't know, not an underground thing and more a spaceship. The old Rizumu map, for example, that was straight up a spaceship, or I think still is. So you can do whatever. If it has a music player, I'm happy. Oh yeah, that's a big thing. If people, please have an LED wall, basically, that I can show myself on. I'm one of those DJs that DJ IRL and not in VR because I just am not good in VR. I don't really have the gear for that. I suck at that as well. So I do DJ in IRL more, basically like a Twitch stream. But I try to have a good connection with the people still and see them, hear them. I always have I do have my headphones on, right? But first of all, they are open headphones, open-backed headphones, and I have my speakers also on. And on those speakers, I hear the people speak most of the time if I don't turn up the music too loud. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say.
I mean, it's definitely, visuals are definitely one of the key players here in VRChat. Like that alone, people try to really hype up and make it worth something, like a much better experience overall. So I think visuals itself, like we don't even have to demand the visuals. The visuals are always going to be there.
Yeah, I also think visuals are one key component to DJing, especially in VR chat. I think that for me, I really like having more a show rather than just a DJ set. I want everyone to see the cool stuff I do, right? I want them to see my cool visuals as well. That's why I don't only call me DJ, but also kind of a VJ. I always have like a small launch pad with me. Like for my sets, I have two launch pads and my DJ controller. The one is for extra effects for DJing, but the other one is for my visuals. And a lot of people don't think that I do that at the same time, but I do. I do the visuals at the same time, but if we would go on with that, we'd be here for a long time. So yes, I also do the visuals for you.
Do you think in the future that VRChat will find ways to be able to showcase these experiences for people that want to learn these? Because I mean, I would assume more and more people want to come in and they want to learn either how to be a VJ or a DJ or a club owner or something like that. Do you think that we will find a way? Because I don't want to say that the community can have some sort of a gatekeepy kind of feel, especially with like, oh, you got to learn. Oh, you got to look on YouTube. Oh, you got to just figure it out. Do you think that we'll ever get to a point where if somebody was genuinely interested, that someone would, I don't want to say like a master class, but do you think that there will kind of be an opportunity to get a better understanding of how to do it?
I am pretty sure there are definitely people that would do that. There are so many nice the people that I know. There are so many nice people that want to help me with my avatar, my world creation if I would do that, or also like visuals, talking about that. There are so many people that help me, you know? And I also think there will be at some point, I hope there would be at some point some more help on that. I'd love that. That would be great.
So we're coming down to the last couple of minutes here for the show, and I do appreciate everybody in chat and your questions and your involvement in the show. So if you do have the last couple questions, please post them in the chat so we can get those answered. I'm going to ask a very serious question, and I want your honest answer because I think a lot of people don't know these. But I would love for your top 3 VRChat DJs you enjoy watching.
Oh boy. So I know you told me about that before, but I haven't really thought about it much, right? But I'm gonna say honestly, not a lot of times I go out for specific DJs just because I either have other stuff to do or I just don't feel like it. But recently there have been quite a few that I really like watching. And I gotta say, one of you is you. I really enjoy your music. I am lots of times in your stream when you do your Wednesday pick me up. I really enjoy it. Then there's also another person that I think is super cool as well, is Merles. Merles is a really nice guy, really cool DJ as well, and his visuals are also very cool. What he does, I'm really hyped for whenever he throws something up. And probably my favorite DJ at the moment, you might already know that, Rob, is Kex. He is amazing. I'm very happy to be his friend, and he does some amazing stuff and he doesn't realize it, which is insane. So that are my top 3 at the moment.
I mean, I do appreciate the kind words. It's funny how like you have some people come in here and they're like, "You're Rob Roman's voice," and the whole idea of this program is not for me to be like, oh my gosh, me, I love it. Oh my gosh. But you know, I just think that this program is again a nice vehicle that we could just be DJs, and we could also hang out and talk about upcoming things and learn about things. You know, I do love watching TatsuTracks. Got a lot of energy when you perform, and obviously you were when you did when sometimes. I mean, when you did apply to do Dead Man's Party, like, you know, that was kind of the energy that we're hoping to get. We're trying to get a lot of energy and not just have your run-of-the-mill DJ standing up there and looking boring, you know? Like, you are not going to be boring at the show, and it's going to be lit.
I hope not.
Yeah, I would hope not, yeah. You're probably on vacation, but it's sometimes the party.
Look, I'm definitely not going to be boring. I'm at least bringing my cat ears. At least something is interesting on me then.
The party doesn't start till you have the cat ears on, I guess. Right.
Right.
I guess honestly, that's it.
But because you said that it's not about you. Obviously, right now it isn't. But I actually meant it. I really enjoy your stuff. So I gotta suck a bit up here. You know.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So I mean,
it's my honest opinion.
Yeah, and again, this the way the program is supposed to work is like, again, at the end of the day, I'm not looking for all the attention. I want to give the attention to the people that want to do really good in VR chat as a DJ, learn about being a DJ, and kind of further whatever the type of career that they're putting on with the DJ program. So kudos to you for you continuing on doing kick-ass stuff, you know?
Thanks.
Does anybody have any more questions in the chat? Come
on, people. We need questions. And
we don't need questions. We could just continue talking for like 3 minutes. Tatsu wants questions.
Yes. Ask me what my favorite food is, I guess. I don't care.
I mean, that's something people can be interested in, sure.
I mean, if they are, they can ask, but apparently we're too boring, Rob. Dang.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Or we just answered the right questions.
How about Tatsu ask some questions for me? That's not how this works.
This is not.
Exactly. I ask the questions, you guys ask the questions. I still have plenty of questions, but we still have 4 minutes to kill. So
I love that one. I love that. Where you want to start DJing in VRChat? Where do you go?
Great question.
That is an amazing question. So I definitely would say come hang out with us at Delirium. That's one place. But if you actually want like something DJ specific, go to Rizumu. Their launchpad, the Rizumu launchpad, that is Rizumu X DDVR, is a great start. Really awesome start. Try there or DDVR in general.
Where do you find these? Is there a website? I mean, there's a group, but for people that don't know what groups are, yeah.
I don't think they have websites. So I can't really give you a link, sadly. But if you oh god, yeah, I don't know. You gotta join the events, maybe. Try joining the events. If you see people at Rizumu or DDVR, just join there and talk to the people.
I would say to add on to your answer is on the Twitter. If you follow them on Twitter, you'll be able to find some more information on them on Twitter. Yeah. Obviously, VRChat has groups, so when you come into VRChat, you can look under the groups category to try to find this. You can join any group. I mean, there's hundreds of groups, but those particular groups will have more information either on their social medias or
absolutely
online. And if not, you could always talk to the people, like following TatsuTracks on Twitch, and then being able to figure it out from there.
And you can always friend me in VRChat, and if you got any questions or something like that, you can also always write me on Discord. I am very happy to answer those questions or help you around. So feel free to talk to me. I'm open, open to conversation always.
You wanna plug some social medias or where else that they can find you?
Oh yeah, sure. So you can definitely find me on Twitter, for example, also at TatsuTracks. You can find me on Twitch at TatsuTracks or TatsuTracks DJ if you only want the DJing portions, because I do also stream. I do entertainment stuff, and I also play games on stream. That's where you can find it at TatsuTracks. I do also have an Instagram. That's kind of dead though, but still follow me on Instagram. Also at TatsuTracks. Basically, if you want to find me, just Google TatsuTracks, to be honest.
Have you Googled yourself? Do you know if everything up there is, you're not going to see tattoo butt or something?
There's no tattoo butt. Maybe not yet.
Not
maybe
yet.
Tomorrow.
Maybe. I'm sure. But Tatsu, thank you for coming by. You're being the first guest. We had a couple of little bits of hiccups here and there, but you know what? That's all part of the regular program. But that's going to do it for us today. We're not going to rate anybody because I'm not following anybody on this account yet. It's still fairly new. You guys are the first to know.
Right. We will follow VRCDJLIVE. It's one awesome program, and this is going to continue forward a lot, right? There's going to be much more content coming. When's the next one? Do you already know?
You're plugging the show and you don't know where it's going to be going to. It's okay, I got you. So in the future, we are going to be doing what's called VRCDJLIVE replay up on YouTube. Of course, all of our VODs will be available on Twitch, and if you do any clips or any highlights, those are going to be available as well, but they're only going to last for 14 days. 7 days currently until we become affiliate, then it's 14 days. But most of the replays will be up on YouTube. We also going to be posting a lot on the Twitter, and eventually we will be having an Instagram. So please find us on YouTube for VRCDJLIVE. And
I also have TikTok.
There you go. There you go.
I have TikTok at TatsuTracks as well. Sorry for I just remember.
TikTok.
Right, it's very important.
There you go. So again,
wrong answer. We
will be having some VRCDJLIVE more examples as we continue on into TwitchCon time, but we are going to be having our first show leading sometime in October. So again, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for following. And until next time,
also thanks for having me, Rob.
We don't have a proper outro, so we're just going to send you guys off. Have yourself a good day.
Boop. Goodbye. Oh, I should have. Oh, yeah.